How are you?
I'm fine.
Can you repeat your name again, please?
My name is Philip Sodo.
What's your date of birth?
I was born June 25th, 1976.
Thank you very much, and we want to welcome you to this public forum of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
Thank you.
Before you commence telling us the truth of your experience, I'd like you to look this way and be introduced to the commissioners. I am Jerome Vredier, the chairman of the commission. At the extreme right is Commissioner Umusila. Next to her is Commissioner Sheikh Kafuma Kone. And next to him is Bishop Atokula. Sitting at my immediate right is Commissioner Dede Dorope. And at my immediate left is Commissioner Gerald Coleman. Next to Commissioner Coleman is Commissioner Massa Washington. And next to her is Commissioner John Stewart. Next to Commissioner Stewart at the extreme left is Commissioner Purple. So please feel free and see what you have to say. You may stand or remain seated at your choice.
As I once earlier stated, I said I'm Philip Sodo. 1994, we were living in a town called Grand Cape Mount County, 8 miles away from Sinje, that is on the quota. But due to the armed incursion between Yolembo J and Yolembo K, they had to collect every one of us from the region to come to Sinje where Ekombo was residing. We came to Sinje in 1994. By then, the Sierra Leonean army barges were deployed, later on embarked by the Nigerian army, Nibat 17, which was headed by one Captain Okeke. After some time, early 1995, the Sierra Leonean army decided to leave from the area, left with the Nigerian army. But the area we came from, we normally refer to the area as the jungle, because we came to Sinje, there was no food. We have to go back to our area to struggle for food to come to Sinje. But before them, collecting us to bring us to Sinje, we were used as timber jack, according to them, that whenever, if you don't want to take part into the revolution, civilian as well, you are considered as a timber jack. And we have to tow low for them from this town to the next town, out of which we did for several times. And we were actually fed up with it. From that, today, I'm a victim from it. I am suffering presently from left egglina, which the doctor told me that is the beginning of honey. I'm a victim of such. After he carried on his examination, he finally told me that I have strained for some time. That was the cause of such. But after we came to Sinje, now the Sierra Leonean contingent left, we went into the jungle. While on our way back, there's a town called Gong. We borrowed with 7 dead bodies. After we have passed by 1 or 2 and continue to see body, among the group now, who is going to lead? Everybody was afraid. From such, we have to get back into the Vera bushes, and we slept there the next morning to struggle to Sinje. That's how we came to Sinje. But Yolembo K did the killing of those people and even sent a letter to Captain Okeke that afternoon that the Nigerian army should evacuate from Sinje effective immediately. The next day, they are coming to take over. Just as the Sierra Leonean has known, they must leave immediately. Actually, he seems to be a brave soldier. He said, get me the town chief. The people got in the town chief and said, hey, there's any volunteer. By then, according to, I was not actually taking statistics, but we were fed by WFP. 10,000 people were living in Sinje. He said, they made an announcement, if anybody can take a reply back to them, out of 10,000 persons, no volunteer. Said, okay. However, if they deploy me here, we shall see. You guys went by the war. The next day, 6 o'clock, while we were preparing to get to the mosque, right in front of the mosque, prayer did not go on. 6 p.m. We were preparing for 7 o'clock prayer. But prayer did not go on in Sinje for that time. We received a fresh attack, which we have, some of us have to escape for the next town called Medina. And Elbomo remained onto the ground. We killed some of those guys. Next day we went back, they asked the civilian to bury them. Early 1996, we started getting a rumor that they have to change the batch of Nigerians that were assigned there, they about 17 to 18. By May of 1976, WFP gave us the report that they were feeding 18,000 people in Sinje. Sinje was populated with various camps from Camp A to Camp L. After the statistics that were given by WFP, the ECOWAS have to carry on their exchangings of battalion from Nibat 17 to Nibat 18. But the commander that went in Sinje for Nibat 18 was a terror. His relationship with the civilian and even his police were so harsh. And he asked that the population in Sinje, the ECOWAS soldiers that are there cannot control everybody, that they have to evacuate from Sinje and all back to Tiani, one of the larger towns in Grand Cape County. And that's how they left. While on their way to Tiani, some of the group followed to Tiani. But we left in Sinje. But at the time ECOWAS was deployed in Sinje, you couldn't find any other warring faction basing in Sinje with the exception of ECOWAS. But when ECOWAS left, few Liberia soldiers went into Sinje. Said, well, the ground has been free for them. They have to take over. And they were there. WFP lifted 440 fitted containers to distribute emergency food in Sinje. They got there, they offloaded and carried on some distribution with the intention of going back the next day to continue. That was on September 28th. September 29th, 5 a.m. at 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. There was a heavy firing all over Sinje. Some people were fortunate to live, especially for those that were living at the outskirts of Sinje. But we that were not fortunate, we were caught into the process. said everybody should park at the center of the town. And you were there to take instruction. The next one was that if you don't take instruction, your heart is involved. The part group between the mosques. So now, if anybody that is listening to this message, if you don't sing J between the mosques and while leaving from the quota entering, there's a free space between there. Park the group there, ask everybody to sit down. The group were sitting down, and while other people collected other group to sit at the field area, the football field area going towards the school building. The group that were parked by the mosque executed everybody right there. That morning the sun rays just began to come up, but the weather turned dark as if we are just approaching 7 p.m. I don't know whether they were afraid. They entered the mosque, collected all the prayer mats, came and covered the people. We moved where they asked us to go. Leaving from CJ, there's a route from CJ all the way to Lofa Bridge. They asked us to park at the intersection where one of the soldiers asked my uncle to get a bucket of water from the hand pump. Another soldier came, looked at him for long. He said, "Look," he said, "this guy seems to be a civilian. He got a white chest, like somebody that has handled rocket prepared grenade against us before." He fired him immediately. He died. And by then, nobody had voice to talk anything. You must accept what is happening on the ground. One of them came and shot a person, one Clarence Zodua, to have him killed. That's how his biological sister Hala, which one of the soldiers was looking at her into the crowd by the name of Bushka. I said, "What is happening?" She said, "This is my brother." And that's how he rushed on him, covering him up with his body. He said, "If anybody fire the boy, then that means 2 of them must go." When he got up, water started rolling down. The soldier asked him, he said, "Oh, you beat it?" Before he touched his trouser, he said, "Oh, it looked like." It was so terrible that you cannot see such situation. And they asked us to go to the warehouse, the district warehouse, where WFP packed the balance food, and they start loading everybody with food. And we were guided by soldiers straight to Golakone district, specifically a town called Maka. But we were threatened that they had a base in General Brown, which was Yugosoba, where death is crying for freedom. I don't know the meaning of Yugosoba. When they say Yugosoba, saying where death is crying for freedom. We got on the way, everybody were loaded with burger wheat for them. And you have to leave your own belongings and other things and just follow their instruction. On our way, one of the soldiers said, the group was so plenty to the extent that one soldier would be here monitoring the group, another at the front. You will stay here and look at the soldiers monitoring the group, that nobody will escape. Fortunately for us, one of them said, if you have the chance to escape, you can go. I didn't see you. But with such instruction, we were still afraid. Who is going to escape first? Afraid that you will not receive hot bullet from the back. He continued to make the announcement while moving ahead with his automatic rifle on his shoulder. Said, if you have the chance to escape, you can go. I don't see you. That's how we saw a group moving into the bush. He turned around and looked at them without taking any action. That got us brave to follow too. We didn't reach Wolakone. We entered the bush, put their wheat down, and began to escape. While leaving Sinje, going towards Tiani, there's a little town called Small Bombing. We went to Small Bombing, spent the whole day there. Look, I spent the whole day in Sinje too, firing. In the evening time, we saw Save the Children Jeep pass. And the amount of dead bodies that were collected in Sinje and its surrounding were 570, which were referred to as Sinje massacre. After the massacre and the war, during Agamo time, they carried on disarmament. We finally insisted that those guys from Golagore cannot pass through our territory anymore because of the action that they carry on into our area. We don't have arms, and some of us never partake into the war, but we're not brave to carry on some such activities. But you cannot use our territory to go to your area anymore, which resulted into another conflict. That when you come to Vonson Market, you rather use the quota, which is considered as the government role, to get to Clay. From Clay, you go Tottenham. From Tottenham, you go to Lower Bridge. From Lower Bridge, before you can come back to Market. But you cannot pass through Gong to go, which Action A has to intervene immediately and collected a few of us as family members to go for training, to come back and talk to our people that we cannot live such life. You must learn to live with somebody that's wronged you, and equally so, you must be patient-minded. Whatever thing that happen is the war. And they collected some of us from there. We went on a training for conflict management, which I obtained a certificate from Action A. And that's how we came back to our people. We talked to them. We conscientize them that whatever things that happen is the will of God. We must learn to live with the people. That's how, from that day, nobody come up, anybody, they were free to move into our area. As well, we ourselves were free to move into that area. That's what I know about this war. But I'm coming. Some of those guys that were involved into this killing, especially I refer to them as cannibals. The guys were living on Himo. From my earlier statement, I said, whenever you go wrong, they would knock your chest by telling you your heart is involved. Some of those people that were killed were pushed off from the back, and their hearts were collected. And those hearts were eaten by them. I know of one huge Senegalese black who was proven to be one of the strong fighters for Alhaji G.V. Nkrumah, Ilemoke. But he was not on the scene of Sinje attack. Popo scattered. He was one of them on the attack. God forbid. I am only calling you the rebels' name because their actual name were not disclosed to us. Billeted. And NPFL, who was a rebel tyrant, but was not on Sinje attack. But he suffered us a lot. But the war in Sinje and the massacre that were carried out was headed by one Samuel Jackson, commonly called Battlefront Jackson, which he said Battlefront was just like a fool to him. Prominent citizen of Mark, Wolakone District. At the time going for this workshop, he was with us. We also go for training, talk to the people. Zigzag Massa, one of them. Bushka was the one that saved my younger person, which was shot on the ground to be killed. Later on, I got to know his family name and one Sandore, right? But all those guys were cannibals. They were living on him. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. We ask you a few questions which will throw more light on what you have said and for some clarification. During the entire period of your experience, can you say how long all of this took place, between what year and when did it, or was it all over?
Yeah, I told you we came to Sinje by 1994.
Thank you very much. Can you tell who what group is WFP that reported that they were feeding 18,000? Could you tell for the audience who is WFP?
Yes, WFP is the World Food Program.
Within your knowledge, who was the leader of Ulimoke at that time?
Alhaji G.V. Nkrumah is the organizer for Ulimoke, and who was proven to be the leader for them.
Thank you.
You mentioned the name of one Ziza Massa. And this Ziza Massa, whose name you mentioned, was he a member of which faction?
Zigzag Massa. I know one Zigzag Massa at the time of NPFL, but one other one was in Ulimoke.
So the Ziza Massa you refer to in your statement is not the same Ziza Massa from the NPFL?
No.
So where are these people today? Have you seen any of them? Are they still in your communities?
Yes, some of them live in the same manner. Some of them are around after the war.
Thank you very much.
This Samuel Jackson, who was the commander in the area, you think he's still around?
His father made us to understand that he was still in the area.
What is the name of that town or that area that he was in at the time?
Maka, a town in Olakone District.
Battlefront Jackson. Describe him. What is his age group? How old do you think he is?
He should be probably in his early 30s.
Thank you.
One thing I want to ask also, the situation Ulimbo, it looks like the group that was in the Ulimbo, were they of any particular ethnic group that you noticed?
The group of Yulumo K comprises of all tribes, but dominance of the Madingo tribe.
Thank you. Sorry.
How old were you at that time?
Well, you just have to do the calculation from 1976 to 1996.
Oh, you were 20 years old.
Sure.
Okay. These boys who you said were the leaders in the fighting force, were they recruited from the place when UNIMO came in, or did they come in with UNIMO?
Some of those people came from Sierra Leone with UNIMO.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Besides the carrying of blows, was there any other type of forced labor that the rebels or whoever they are made you ought to do?
There was no other forced labor. Those guys were not constructing. They were not farming. Besides, when they loot, they give you the heavy load to carry it. And whenever you complain that it is heavy, it means that they should add it up.
You also mentioned that of late, first you decided that nobody from Gola Corner should pass through your village. Now you have decided to allow them to pass through your village, but there's a particular village which I cannot call that you said even up to now you will not allow them to pass through your village. Is that correct?
I am not saying even up to now. I did mention at the time, immediately after the war, you cannot pass there.
Okay.
That led Action A to intervene.
Okay.
From the Action A workshop, we talked to our people. They have been given the opportunity to pass any time, even of night and day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Was it the Yulumo K that committed the massacre or the children of Golakon?
Yulumo K is responsible for the massacre.
What was the rationale behind passing an instruction where people from the Sinje area should not go to Golakona area and the Golakona people should not come to the area, since it was not the responsibility of the Vai and the Gula, but rather children perhaps were beyond their control?
Yes, we all live in the same region, despite of district being divided, but we all from the same Grand Cape Mount County. If you are incorporated into a group, is it your brothers to go and vent the anger on? That's one reason that we ask them that they cannot pass at the time.
Is Sando Jackson a Gola or Vai?
Is of the Golas Egnes group, prominent Gola.
What about Ziza Massa?
Well, for Zigzag Massa, I don't know, but he has just been part of the group.
In the Yulumo Kid fight, you didn't see any Vai within the fighting forces at the time you people were in Sinje?
I can say Vai was not there. It's not written on nobody's face. Killed.
But you were able to identify Jackson as Gola?
Sure. When his father made it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You said that in the massacre there was 570 persons. Based on your observation, were there any specific age group that was targeted?
Of all ages.
Now, another question. Did they come from the mosque or there were people around Sinje? How did they get the 570 persons at that area?
I told you 18,000 people were living in Sinje.
Can you tell us a bit about your mother, your father? Are they still okay?
My mother is alive. She's not feeling well, President. My dad is dead.
Now, you said the civilians were called Timbajai. Why do you use that name to describe civilians? Is there any reason why they were called that name?
Yes. Timbajai is noted to be a machine that laid heavy load.
You talk about Sando Jackson. That's his full name. Is there any other name you know Senegalese by?
Senegalese has just been Senegalese.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We want to thank you very much for sharing your experience with us. And please accept the sympathy of the Commission, and I'm convinced the people of Liberia for the loss of your relatives and all that you have gone through. The Commission in the last 8 months has been investigating the Sinje massacre, and your testimony today has added and contributed to that work of the Commission. We believe every citizen has a duty to contribute to the process of reconciliation, peace, security, and unity in Liberia. And this you have so boldly done today, and we want to commend you for that.